you're going to see how I invert and my arm goes outside this leg, okay? So I come through and I spin. I'm loading him up. I'm carrying him almost like a baby right here. I got my arms around, and now I can use this leg to help me get a lot of momentum to kick and bring him across, just like this. And we're going to land, boom, in a great position to bring our pressure, all right? So he has no choice but to, consider, to avoid getting swept, of letting go and posting his hand, all right? And when that happens, we can easily just do the reverse and spin back to his back, all right? So that would look like this. Okay, so kick, elbow, boom, we're in, we go, I start to go, he lets go and he bases. Maybe I feel like he overcompensates with his weight a little bit and comes back hard the other way, exactly, to resist. So now I can just kick here, start to roll on my shoulder. You see how I'm staying connected, all right? I don't let this space happen and then I go to the back. I'm keeping myself inverted, okay? And I slide out from my shoulder, and now here I am, already with the hook in, ready to start to settle in, find my seatbelt, and take his back, okay? This should feel very natural, very smooth. Oh, I got a little stuck. I can't take him that way. Boom. I come back and take him the other way, all right? One more time. We get in. Boom. We go. Didn't get my sweep, right? So now I swing back, roll out over that shoulder, and now here we are, ready to hunt his back, okay? This is a very nice 1-2 combination. It saved me a lot. This is Oklahoma, so we got a lot of good wrestlers out here, of course. And, there are times where in order to try to make some offense happen, I got to enter into an underhook position, and just doing some of your typical, like bag take or wrestle up type stuff can be so difficult against a D1 high level All-American, right? Even that he doesn't know jiu-jitsu, we're going into their world. So I like to use this one against those wrestlers to give them a different look that maybe they're not used to. And you'd be surprised how easily you can just kick them over and get that initial pendulum sweep and, take a position where you could have to fight your ass off and not get anywhere, and then just do this move and boom, sweep them easily. All right. So I like to teach this one, and it's a great one to have for your underhook game. All right. So now I want to discuss really the only underhook half guard that I really like. That is a Lucas Leach style half guard. All right. I'm not particularly a deep half guard player. I don't like to come underneath and have that person sitting on top of me. Not to say there's anything wrong with that game. It's just not my preferred style. But the style that I do enjoy, if I have to go there, is the Lucas Leach style half guard. Okay. The coyote guard, getting into the dogfight position, especially with my experience in MMA. That was one of my go-to ways to keep the person in a ground fight grapple exchange if my initial takedown didn't work. All right, I used it in a couple fights, and it always got me into top position. Even though I'm not known as a half guard guy, it's something that I think is important to have in your arsenal, because in no-gi it helps, and of course in MMA it helps. Or in MMA it's basically required. All right, so let's take a look at how once we enter with that underhook, we are in a great position to find our Lucas Leach, and we'll can go back to the John Wayne a little bit, because that's a really nice time to get there as well. All right. So actually, let's stay. Let's go to this side. All right. So the biggest thing here is understanding the leg work. Okay, because our normal half guard, it's the bottom leg that stays hooked around his leg. All right. What we're going to do is end up switching and using the outside leg as the control leg. All right. So on here, I have my knee shield. I get him off balance. I enter into my underhook. Okay. Now, as soon as I get my underhook, I'm going to take my bottom leg out and wrap his leg with my outside leg. All right. This puts a lot of pressure on his hip and his knee, and allows me to have my other leg, my right leg, my bottom leg, free to get up onto my knee and wrestle up. Okay. So, we can be very proactive. I can stay on my elbow, and as soon as I switch this, I can start to use my elbow to get myself up where I keep my legs hooked around his leg, and I can start to use my head and start to search for that second leg to sit him all the way down. The nice thing about this position is the more that he wizards me and drives me down, I'm always going to have a beautiful follow-up coming underneath and sweeping him over. And as much as he might want to try to resist this, you see my lock, okay? My lock around his leg, just with my outside leg, I can get a lot of pressure on his knee where it's easy for me to load him and bring him over for that sweep, all right? And this is really the game that we're going to play, okay? I'm going to be going back and forth. So if I happen to go and he bases, okay, takes his wizard out and posts his hand, here I can always bring it back and get myself out to where I can find his back, all right? And that's kind of the basis of this style, all right? We're just kind of, going with the momentum and the energy that he gives us and playing this game where he's always defending and having to base and worry about our attack. And the beautiful thing is, with our head position where it is, there's really no guillotine. There's no real threat as long as I'm keeping his knee in the position that I need to have it in. All right. So once again, okay, boom, boom. We switch our legs. If I wanted to just kind of relax for a second, I can just start to find that second leg, pull my leg through, and make my lock. You see how my hip is over his knee and my knee is over towards the floor. This makes it very hard for him to lift his knee and try to mount me, okay? For him to get it up, it doesn't want to move. If I'm too open like this, now he can bring that knee up and maybe find a way to drive it across my hip, and that's definitely what I don't want to happen. So make sure you keep your hip on top and your knee is there, and I can start to, initiate the game whenever I'm ready. Okay, I can pull him over and go that way first. Maybe if he kind of posts that leg and he takes his weight away from me, then I can start to get on my elbow, get myself up, and start to work from here. All right. There's a lot of great options from here. Okay, but the basis is all either just trying to bring him down using your head, catching that other leg, and doing like a takedown, or dipping under to roll him the other direction. And then if he ever bases and lets go of that wizard, the back is going to become available, okay? Now, I want to go back to the dog fight. I'm sorry, the John Wayne, and look at how we can go to Lucas Lake from there. I kind of mentioned it before, but I want to put a couple more details into it. So he's hugging me tight. He brings his knee over my knee. Boom, I base, okay? Or I either go for the sweep and I make him base, all right? As he bases, there's my underhook. Look how my knees come up to my chest. So now I can reach that leg and switch. This is going to be my entry right into the Leach style half guard, okay? And look, like I said, for him to bring that arm around my head and to try to guillotine me and anything like that, it's very difficult. I can't reach it. I'm too low. I'm down here. That's the beauty of it, okay? Sometimes I might be able to find this leg immediately. Give it to my hand and start to wrestle it from here. All right. It's a very, very proactive position. Okay. Like, we are in the spot where we can be as aggressive or lazy as you want to be. As long as we have a good bite on that leg, we don't have to worry about, their pressure, their guillotines. They're pretty stuck. And that's kind of the way this position can really be successful, is you can make the person get so frustrated from being stuck that they open up and give you an easy option to sweep or take the back or something like that. All right. So once again, I'm not known to be a half guard guy, and I call this the Leach half guard because of the man, Lucas Leach, someone I have a lot of respect for, by far the best at this game. Also, BJ Fanatic's own Bernardo Faria, he used to use this a lot as well. To get his single legs and stuff like that, feed the lapel around. It's a beautiful position. And like I said, one that is super effective and very frustrating for the person on top. So, definitely one that you need to know. And if you have a little shorter legs and thicker legs, this is going to be a great, great option for you. All right, let's look at our last option from the underhook. Once again, we know we're going to probably do it with a wizard. All right, I want to go back to entering our butterfly hook. Okay, this is always something that we should be looking to play with our knee shield and just our half guard in general. Once we put the butterfly hook in, we have whole new doors that open up for us. All right, so let's take a look. Once again, we're going to enter into our underhook position. Okay, so boom, I get inside, I underhook. Here's my wizard. All right, so I'm just going to scoop my head back a little bit to give myself enough room to put my butterfly hook in. Okay, and what I like to do the most once I get my butterfly hook in is to kind of enter into the shoulder crunch position a little bit. Okay, but I want to start with his head inside. So I'm going to be here, and I'm going to now kind of scoot into more of a traditional double butterfly as I reach for my second hand and make my grip. Okay, so this arm that is the underhook arm is going to be palm away. Okay, and the one that's in front of me coming through his head is going to be palm facing me. Okay, just like this. So we can do a palm to palm. A lot of times I like to utilize the 3-finger grip in this position, so I have a little more pinch with my elbows. Okay, so my thumb just moves over 3 fingers.